but that's just but so why are dips and chin-ups weighted more focused than my other I put them alongside bodybuilding or but if you can get a stronger weighted dip and weighted chin-up, you're gonna have bigger guns, bigger chest, bigger back. I remember I do fantastic, but direct shoulder work, and I just did dips, and my shoulder work got strong.
All right, hey folks, Faz here from Faz Lifts. Today's video is going to be to do with how to know if you're a beginner, intermediate, or advanced, and why that's important, and ultimately to make your entire YouTube experience more productive and more beneficial for you as an individual. But firstly, thanks for making it to my channel. If you have any questions, comment, pop them down below. If you'd like to look at me on your own strength and sequence, there's a link in the description. So, what are we talking about? Now, this is a problem that I see with people trying to assimilate information on YouTube in general. Okay, understanding context is 100% crucial. Much of the complex stuff discussed on YouTube is aimed at audiences who are in the intermediate to advanced stage, and it's almost always the beginners who feel they need that level of complexity. What you want to know all the secrets to make the maximum progress. So, just like out in the gym, he's already on a bro split, he's taking the pre-workout, he's got all these ideas about what it takes to be a bodybuilder. No, some of you might be those yourself. So, before you can step foot into a gym, you've got all the latest clothes, you've got the pre-workout, you've got protein supplement, you've got creatine, before you can really learn how to train. These are all extras which can be seen as distractions. As well as that, probably more damaging than that is the training information, which leads people to just switch routines. So, we have to understand the context so we know what advice to take and what advice to do. If any of you have ever read my beginner book, The Noob, you'll realise that that's a very important theme in the progression from being a beginner to being an intermediate. You have to know what's applicable to you, focus on that, focus on a few select things which allow you to get away from that first beginner stage. So, it's not just about beginners, this video, it's also about intermediates and advanced, how they know where they're at, and also how ultimately they progress. But the important thing about this video is to understand that these classifications we have, beginner, advanced, and intermediate, they're not just related to age or training. There are actually specific responses to training. So, my aim with this video is to help you understand that, but also ultimately to help to enhance your entire YouTube experience so you know what to listen to. Alright, but first, before we get into that, I just want to cover this. Is the term beginner offensive? I watched a video recently where the YouTuber was trying to make the case that the word beginner is actually an impressive, offensive word, and we need to do away with beginners. He was chastising and saying that it was an ego thing to call people. He was saying that they would call people beginners offensively. I just want to clarify, I don't believe that. I don't call people beginners advanced in an offensive, repressive way. And I think the suggestion that a beginner is an oppressive term is a little bit too close to woke, social justice warrior kind of culture. I'm not going to go too far into that rabbit hole, this is a political channel, but for me it's a little bit too woke to say we should cancel the term. I think it should be used as a means to illustrate, but at the same time it has its uses, and to explain in this video, there are very important classifications which allow you to know what stage you're at, so you can disseminate and assimilate information correctly. That's my basic first point. So firstly, defining beginners. Really quite simple. It is your ability to make progress from one session to another. So if you train on something, let's say you train on bench presses for 3 sets of 10, and you progress on by Wednesday, that's what a beginner is capable of doing. In general, maybe 1 or 2 sessions of this off, especially if the food isn't going right, but in general it's the ability to make progress from one session to another, so that could be multiple times in a week. same exercise and the same repetitions. It's the ability to make progress really without any major program steps. It's the ability to make progress easily. Again, if you look at my beginner book, you'll see that the teach there, it's really designed to set you up for games later. The actual material is mostly unimportant. It's just consistency. The lessons on how food connects to training and how your ability to move correctly is going to set you on a better path down the road. Pretty much anything consistently should get you out of the beginner stage. So really it's more about how can I do to set myself up for better things down the road. So being a beginner is making progress.
Missile launch detected.
Now, this has nothing to do with actual training age. Because if you've been training for 3 years, particularly the last 2 years we've had, where gymnastics has maybe been sporadic. But if you consistently lock yourself in, you can probably gain a rep or two or a pound or two on your bench press, squat, deadlift. So if you do that, maybe 2-3 times a week. Great, you're still now, the actual poundages on related to whether you're a beginner. Like I'm pointing in the direction of the British deadlifter Andy Bolton, deadlifted 500 pounds first time he approached the barbell, eventually went on to deadlift over 1,000. Another guy called Bob Bernowski, who was a US weightlifting champion in the 60s. He basically had the same exact routine beginner when he advanced in world championships. So he was still basically a beginner at that stage, which is mind-boggling to think about because he never really untapped his full potential. But he didn't need to because he's a world champion, so who cares? But also a lot of pro bodybuilders essentially don't really know a great deal about training and diet. It was quite amusing to me. I was watching a podcast last year and it was a revelation to one of the bodybuilders on that podcast. It was incredible for me to watch. He was saying, some of these guys, they just do the same routine at weight loss. It's crazy. I'm sat at home. This guy, 260 pounds, thinks it's crazy that people progress weights with him. So there you go. The level of knowledge of some of these advanced guys shows that they're still beginners. They don't really know what the hell they're doing. And progress is still incredibly easy for them. They don't need to utilise even a solid progressive overload plan to progress. Just genetic potential and more drugs. And on that note, steroid use is essentially what allows these guys to remain beginners. Because they don't need training complexity, they can make progress session to session. Steroid use essentially takes people's training age and brings it right back to beginner stage. And that's the definition of beginner. It's easy to make beginners. So what these guys will do is they rely on their genetics and they rely on how they make drugs. That's essentially their entire careers. Which then gets exposed because they say things like they say things like progressive will be nothing. But anyway, so the idea of a beginner is you implement progress from relatively scale quite easy. Now, when it comes to this is when session to session progress typically stops working. Week to week and month to month progress is generally still acceptable. However, it usually comes with some changes. Now, for me, this was some type of periodization and kilo-early paradigm for me was when they were moving to push from beginner stage past into advanced. That was the thing. My food was fine. My volume was fine. Somewhat body volume. I was training hard in general. Load variation was what I got. Small change required something that allowed me to eventually be advanced. So at this stage, session to session does stop working. You need something. And really, this is probably where the majority of YouTubers sit. The majority of audience sits. They've passed the beginner stage. They've done enough that they are now out there on the internet looking for information and saying, what else can I do? And this is where people typically routine changing, not really committing to a full weight gain phase, not really implementing the right things. Usually when things start to chop and change, what should be enough information leading to a small change to move them forward turns into consuming lots of information and many changes, which really puts down the progress. At this point, you don't go into the state of continuously making more and more changes over the course of time. Make a change, stick to it, stick to a plan, allow it to evolve over the next couple of months, and then make a change as and when it's needed. Allow yourself to take the results to actualize. Everything slows down in the intermediate phase relative to the beginner phase. That means your evaluation period will change and slow down as well. So if you make a change, you must execute it for about 4 weeks, 12 weeks before you really can evaluate whether it's worked or not. Really pay heed to that as it will save you a lot of heartache. Otherwise, you're just going from routine to routine, change to change, never really giving it a chance to settle and evaluate. You have to slow down your expectations. Really, that's a big thing with intermediates. Slow down your expectations. So the point of this section is, one, that's how you know you're intermediate. You have used your store and you need some fine-tuning. And the second thing is, because everything is a lot slower,
completed.